Hey guys, I'm Ben Pollack, back from Mind Pump TV. The guys today wanted me to talk about the differences for my warm-ups between bodybuilding and powerlifting. And actually, I think there are a lot of differences. It's a really cool topic. When I'm starting for a bodybuilding workout, I really do pretty minimal general warm-up. So I always start with 2 to 5 minutes of cardiovascular activity. That's the same no matter what I'm training for. And that's just to get a little bit of a sweat going, really elevate your heart rate a little bit, warm up. Then for bodybuilding, I move on to an activation exercise that's gonna help me get somewhat of a pump through the muscle that I'm trying to work for the day. And that just helps me so that I can focus a little bit better on the muscles that I'm trying to feel when I move on to my heavier compound exercises. So this is always going to be an isolation exercise. It's always going to be something very light that I'm doing for very high reps. So for example, if it's my heavy chest day and my main movement is incline bench press and maybe some dumbbell bench press, I'm gonna start out with maybe cable crossovers, maybe some banded flies, just something that can get me activating my pecs, really squeezing those muscles and not relying so much on other muscle groups like my shoulders or my lats or my arms that tend to take over when I'm doing a bench press. Then after that, I'll move straight into my big exercise for the day, or my heaviest exercise for the day. And I'm gonna start off with very, very light weights. So if I'm doing bench, I'll start off with just the bar and I'll crank out a set of 20 or 30 reps. And then I'll add a little bit of weight and I'll just keep doing that. I'll pyramid up, even though it's gonna exhaust me a little bit for my heaviest set. At the same time, I'm getting in a lot of volume and I'm reinforcing that good technique where I'm activating and really focusing on the muscles that I wanna train for that session. This is for a bodybuilding session, so I'm not as concerned about moving maximal weight. It's a totally different story when it comes to powerlifting, where my general warm-up is gonna be really extensive. And then my exercise specific warm-up is going to be very limited, even though I'm working up to a much, much heavier weight. So for bodybuilding, again, short general warm-up, longer specific warm-up. For powerlifting, longer general warm-up, shorter specific workout. So the general warm-up for powerlifting, I'm going to start off, again, 2 to 5 minutes cardiovascular activity, but then I'm going to move into some sort of dynamic stretching. So for me, that might be arm circles, it might be leg swings, it might be walking lunges, something that, again, is still going to move my joints through a full range of motion, but it's also going to have a little bit more dynamic involvement than, say, stationary cycling would be. From there, I'll gradually move up. So if that's something body weight, I'll add some sort of tension, like with a band. So maybe I'm doing banded distractions for those same problem areas, which for me tend to be hips and shoulders, maybe elbows, maybe knees, but I'll just focus on whatever I'm having trouble with. But I really, really want to make sure that because I'm going to be training with these heavy weights and I'm not doing a whole lot of warm up, in total, I want to make sure that my muscles and my joints are very warm so that I'm not going to risk injury when I'm training a max movement. After all of that, I'll usually do some sort of ab work. And that's because I do find that in powerlifting, I tend to have a little bit of trouble, even after years and years of practice, I tend to have a little bit of trouble activating my core properly on squats and deadlifts. And so by doing just a little bit of ab training can help me to remember that I need to engage my core no matter what I'm training. And then I'll finally be ready to move into whatever compound exercise I'm training for the day. Now keep in mind, when I get to this stage, I've been probably warming up for about 10 to 15 minutes already. And so I'm not gonna do a whole lot of additional work before I get up to my heaviest set. So in my last session, I worked up to an 800-pound squat, but before that, I only did 11 warm-up reps, which is, a very, very small amount when you consider that for bodybuilding, I'm doing 20 to 30 with just the bar. But by doing that fewer number of reps, I'm really conserving energy, and I find that I can perform better with the heavier weights. So those are just some of the differences between bodybuilding and powerlifting warm-ups. There are a few more nuances, but I think that if you focus on those in general, you'll find that your workouts are a lot more effective for it.